power of news, why we can trust the truth. The first part, we think we are seeking truth. In the news industry, journalists often present themselves as guardians of the truth and operate under the banner of objectivity and fact. The reporter quotes official statements from so-called authorities, remains neutral, and seeks speed and accuracy in his reporting. But is the official story spread by journalists really the truth? Or is it simply because it's the prevailing will? Historically, the news industry's trust in official rhetoric has led to errors in the dissemination of information. At the beginning of the COVID-19, the United States government was quick to issue statements such as, "No need to wear masks," and "The virus will not spread from person to person." And the mainstream media took the lead in widely disseminating this information. Subsequent revisions of early policies by WHO and Ministries of Health proved that the government was misinformed in the early stages of the COVID-19, and the information disseminated by the media was also incorrect. The second part, Nietzsche, no facts, only interpretations. The German philosopher Nietzsche, though not a journalist, was more aware than anyone else of the danger of truth. He was keenly aware that the so-called truth was often not a pure discovery, but a product of the workings of power. According to Nietzsche, they are not facts, only interpretations. The facts themselves do not speak. It is the interpretation that speaks. In fact, each report is a choice of narrative, a perspective, a position. So, who has the power of interpretation? Why do we accept it as true? Are there other interpretations that have been surprised? The shape of truth changes as it enters different narrative containers. In journalism, whoever has the power of speech defines what facts look like. The truth is not purely objective, but is the language of the powerful, an extension of power. The third part, how news is involved in the production of power. When we habitually cite official announcement, government statement, and corporate claims, are we unconsciously repeating the official narrative? We advertise neutrality, but the starting point is always similar, in the name of the state, in the name of order, in the name of market. Nietzsche called this phenomenon herd morality. It is not because we are weak, but because of the system. The internal logic of the mainstream media structure is stability, avoidance of offense, and service to the majority. The result is that we talk a lot and question too little. The fourth part, approaching journalism with Nietzsche's theory, not a restatement, but a critique of truth. If you look at journalism in terms of Nietzsche's theory, the role of journalism must change. We should not just interpret the world, but engage with it, challenging dominant narratives and posing unsettling and timely questions. For example, there has long been a widespread public perception that the tax system is fair, and that the rich should pay more taxes. This is what society calls common sense, a fact we accept without questions. The U.S. Treasury Department also noted in an official statement in 2001, the only way to ensure that higher income taxpayers pay their fair share of the taxes is to empower the IRS with the resources and information necessary to close the tax gap. The statement emphasized that tax fairness could be improved by strengthening tax compliance measures. It also stressed the importance of ensuring that the wealthy pay their taxes in accordance with the law. But ProPublica's secret IRS files investigation challenges this prevailing ideology. News shows that the wealthiest Americans legally avoid taxes on a massive scale through loopholes in the tax code, and they even don't pay taxes at all in some years. This finding shakes the public's fundamental belief in tax justice. Nietzsche said that they are not facts, only interpretations. Our belief that the tax system is fair is actually an explanation for the long-standing power structure. The tax code may seem neutral, but it actually favors the rich. If we don't seek to challenge dominant ideologies, we will accept this systemic injustice and mistake it for truth. The task of journalism is to avoid uncritically reproducing the official narrative, but rather to question these seemingly unbiased interpretations. The end part, the critique of truth, is the reason for the existence of news. Journalism is not about defending the truth, it is about reserving space for questioning. Nietzsche tells us that truth is nothing more than the language of a certain kind of power. Michel Foucault reminds us that power is everywhere and is embodied in discourse, knowledge, and regimes of truth. If the news means anything, it's not because it says something that is definitively true, but because it refuses to be silenced. Our task is not to find the final answer, but to constantly challenge the dominant ideologies and criticize the truth. This is the only instinct we can't give up as journalists.